Yes, brother. I'm gonna give you some new insights, or at least a new perspective on how to look at semen retention. I've been on this journey around 3 years now, on and off. I've had deep insight through my experience. I've had first world experience in terms of navigating relationships, how it's affected my career and business, my own personal development and healing journey, and how it's tied over into my habits, disciplines, and my vices and coping mechanisms as well. So I first set out on the journey around 3 years ago when I first heard about it. I'm not going to go in too much detail about that, but all I will say is I heard about it and I was instantly captivated by the idea. So I began to start the journey. I first started on aiming to hit 30 days. And I think when you do first start this journey, you realise how addicted you are to porn and masturbation. But not only that, lusting over women, having the wandering eye. And even now, that is something that I believe will be a forever battle of a man. There's a Bible verse, I'm probably going to butcher this, but it says if the right eye is wandering in lust or something like this, then cut it out. If the right hand leads you to sin, cut it off. And this is talking about lust. I'll put the exact quote on the screen because I've definitely butchered it there. But this is exactly what it's talking about, the wandering eye and the gaze. So throughout my journey, that's what I've found the most difficult. Across the long period of time, that's the thing I've found the most difficult. Navigating the gaze and the initial pull to act out, or just the lust to go down the rabbit hole of the lustful thinking. But just linking back to my journey, it's led me up to this point. I recently went to a little bit of rebellion phase, leading me to where I am now, of like, fuck this, it's not working, it's not worth it. I'm just gonna continue to kind of live freely. Doesn't mean I'm just gonna be blowing my load every day, but still having some practice in sexual discipline, but to open to the point of casual sexual relationships. And if I do want to release on the occasion, I will. And I went down that and I kind of experimented with moderation to a degree, and then I landed on the conclusion that, listen, at the end of the day, my life is better when I am returning, full stop. Everything is better when I am returning, full stop. I feel better, I'm more disciplined, my energy is higher, my habits are better, I feel more aligned and more focused. And the reason why I think that is because, yes, number one, it gives you an influx of energy. But what I also think it does, I'm not going to list the laundry list of benefits because I know you've probably heard them all before, but this is a different perspective that I've kind of recently gauged. And what I've noticed is, what I think it does is it builds up sexual frustration as well. And what sexual frustration does, it manifests as anger. So it can manifest as frustration and anger. So frustration can then transmute to anger. And now, this is why semen retention isn't for everyone, because if you haven't got a control over your emotions and your coping mechanisms in play, and i.e. healthy coping mechanisms, then this anger can lead you to destructive behaviours. This anger can lead you to be more impulsive, can then lead you to be over obsessive and over compulsive, and then also start to resent women as well, because you start to resent what you can't have. And I've noticed this in myself on the occasion, and other men that I've spoken to, my clients included, who have done this practice. They start to kind of have a resentment to women because they've convinced themselves in the mind they can't have it. But that's not wrong. That's not right. You can have it. It's just you're choosing not to. So that subtle mindset shift for me allowed me to feel the frustration, i.e. the sexual frustration of wanting to just have sex or act on, or pursue the act of sex. But instead of allowing my mind to run away with the thought and the idea and get annoyed and frustrated that I can't have it or it's not accessible, I then channel that into my pursuit, recognize the anger as an emotion, because anger, if channeled correctly, yes, it's not the most healthy emotion, it's not the best fuel you want to be running off, but if it is prevalent and you're able to transmute that into positive outlets, it will transform your life. And this is why, another reason why I think it's so powerful, because if you learn transmutation, like if you're just practicing semen retention but you're not practicing transmutation as well, then you're just wasting your time, bro. You need to be practicing transmutation. What does that look like? transmuting that energy into different things. I've spoke about this on previous videos. You can go on my page and have a look at the semen retention videos. I've spoke about this previously, about breath practice techniques you can do to circulate the energy. Every morning when I get up, I stretch. I do some breathing techniques, and one of them is breathing in, squeezing your pelvic floors and feel the energy pulsating up your spine and send it into your head so you can feel your head pulsating. Do a few rounds of that and it will release the energy. You'll know when the energy is getting clogged up and getting stagnant when you start getting overly horny in the night time and you're waking up rampant. Like you are going to get morning wood on the occasion. Probably after you've done a couple of weeks, most mornings. But if you get good at circulating this energy, that will subside and you'll feel way less frustrated and way less angry. Another positive outlet how to channel this energy is having a form of like hard training, like rigorous training. Like I went and did 20 rounds on the bag yesterday. I planned to do 10. I ended up doing 20. I took myself to deep waters because I had that influx of energy. Martial arts amazing. Just go and hit the heavy bag. If you haven't got the time to go and sign up at a gym, just go and start hitting the heavy bag, man. Like that is for a man the best form of energy release, I believe, is getting in some form of martial arts practice. Even starting to shadow boxing, using that as a daily practice. And then having some creative pursuits or a business to pour into. If you're just working a 9 to 5 or you're just a typical working lad watching this video and you don't have, start something. Start a side project, start a pursuit, something you can put, like, you can think long term with. Because a job's predictable. Like, yeah, you might be able to work your way up the ladder, but you're not really going anywhere and you can see where the path is. So it's not inspiring. You need something where you can take risks, challenge yourself, form yourself into this new person by pouring yourself into this pursuit. And with practicing semen retention, having this influx of energy, that's a perfect time to start. You need these different outlets and avenues. It's not good just having one thing. We need different open, because you can't train 24 hours a day. Well, we're not awake for that anyway, but you can't train 16 hours a day, you know, 1, 2, maybe 3 hours max, you know, unless you're a professional fighter and that's all you do, but you're not, are you? So you need a few different outlets, like working on the business, doing some training, and then having some other outlets to put some creative stuff, maybe writing, getting some poetry, music, like something that can bring out that creative essence. And it's funny because it paints the whole picture, it all ties in. You get the influx of energy from the semen retention, start to channel that into your business. That creates an influx of energy and gives you creative energy to then pour into a different pursuit. And then that also ties into the martial arts, because that's creative, or even just weight training and running. Like, have these outlets open to pour yourself into, because if you're doing semen retention, you're not doing anything with it, you're just going to get super angry and frustrated, start resenting the world. That anger's either going to build itself up and explode, or you're just going to fucking crack and you're just going to release and go on a massive porn binge. Now, the biggest thing to cleanse, whilst we're on the topic of porn, whilst on semen retention, is cleansing your addiction or your relationship with porn. That is the number one priority, I think, on this practice. Just eradicating that. If you can just eliminate watching porn, like if you are going to release and the energy's built up and you are super frustrated and you need to just release the pressure valve, and you have no other outlets in that moment in time, I mean, I'd say there is always better things to do, but I'm saying worst case scenario, you're way better to just not use porn, release using imagination, than you are using porn. I'd prescribe doing that and staying off porn, full stop. Like, that is the most damaging thing for a man. That is fucking fried my society of men, my generation of men. It's absolutely destroyed us, and we're in the back end of recovery now. We're basically recovering addicts from this, because I was like probably 12, maybe even a bit younger when I first started watching porn. So imagine what that's done to a young developing brain. It's absolutely fried our wiring, butchered us. It's completely destroyed our dopamine centers, our perception on intimate relationships, our connection to women, our connection to sex, our connection to ourself. Like, it's completely destroyed our spirit. So we're in the recovery phases now, remember that. So give yourself the patience. But I'm going to wrap this whole video up. But yeah, so using this influx of energy, which you have, and you will feel that after, I'd say you start to feel the after week 1, you'll start to get this surge, And then when you start to recognize that surge, you use that energy now to pour into these channels. Write these down, like open channels. Have as many as you can, really, and then you'll find your set ones, and then you'll have a queue. As soon as you feel rampant and a bit of energy building up, right, you know what you need to do now. Go to the gym, start working on this, do this, go for a walk, do some breath work. Like, you'll have these things open, you'll know, and the more you repeat that habit, the more it'll become autonomic. But I can promise you now, this on the back end of what women and things like that, like, I'm talking about personal development here. A lot of guys are speaking on this topic just to try and get extra attention and extra women. That's coming from a place of lack, and that's coming from a place of insecurity. If you're doing semen retention for this, then you're disrespecting yourself and the practice. So I prescribe going back to wanking, bro, because you should be doing this for yourself, to develop in yourself, your habits, your discipline, and develop your spirit as well, because you owe it to yourself. You've been abusing yourself and disrespecting yourself for too long. You owe this to yourself, brother. So now's the time to flip the switch and turn it around. Do this just solely to practice discipline, just to prove to yourself that you can abstain from the things that once ruled you. Because these things have controlled us for so long. It's about time we took our fucking power back. And society is a curated society in a way to control us with these things and program us from a young boy, because we're the last generation. If you're on Gen Z, we are the last generation to make a change. After us, they're cooked, man. They've had phones since 4 years old. They're fried. They ain't doing nothing. They're innovating the movement that's already upon us. We are the last. We are the key holders of transformation. It is up to us. Nobody after us is going to do it, so it's up to you. But it starts and ends with you. You can't change the world, and can't change the world before you change yourself. You need to change yourself first, and then you can begin to change the world. And you will change the world the more you level up personally. Don't underestimate the impact you can have. Start here, practicing sexual discipline. I'm going to leave it there, fellas. Everything's in the bio if you want to get in the description. If you want to get in touch, I've got a sexual energy transmutation ebook that you can download in the description. All my socials and everything are linked below as well. You can get in touch with me on email or message me on socials. Alright, I'll see you on the other side. Peace.